Hey everybody. Hi guys. Guys, welcome to another video on Masterful TV. So as I think everybody who follows us, and if you're not following us, start following us because we just have one agenda, guys. My agenda through Masterful TV is about helping you reach your best. Now, reach your best, it can be your potential about in your career lives. It can be your business, and can be your freelancing business you're doing, or any kind of work that gives you wealth and money. I would say more like an abundance. But at the same time, it can be your personal life as well. So we help you reach your best. It can be through bunch of videos, whatever we post on Masterful TV, or it can be through the challenges or activities that I keep doing with you guys. And today's video is so special because this video, I'll tell you the agenda and subject later, but this video is with my guru and my teacher. So I met him in 2018, actually. It's almost going to be 4 years. And my coaching journey started with Mr. Anil Dagia. Anil, what a pleasure to have you here. And I just want to say thank you for making this video for the Masterful TV viewers. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Shweta. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. So guys, very quickly about who is Anil Dagia and what he does is, so guys, it's been almost a decade, I would say, more than 10 years that he has been training people to start their coaching journey. It can be through Nlp Practitioner Courses. Now, they are all International Coach Federation. They have the credentials with that. So now what is that? You can go to anildagia.com and check details. But I took my master also as like Nlp practitioner training from him. Then I upgraded myself and I was just asking Anil that should I also go with master practitioner? And he said, of course. And that was, Anil, in fact, I want to share this with you. You already know it, but that was my life-changing moment. I still remember it was 2019, December. And that session was, I would say those bunch of sessions were like mind-blowing. So guys, do take this journey. If you don't want to coach, that's okay. But you can do this just for your own reach your best agenda. So, but the reason today I am having Mr. Anil Dagia on board with us is I recently visited him in Mumbai, maybe like 10 days back. So I met him and we were discussing a lot of stuff. I always want to have people who help me reach my best around me. So Anil is one of them. I met him and I still remember. Anil, you remember we were discussing so many things.
Yes.
And I started telling him that, Anil, mujhe ye acha nahi lagta, wo acha nahi lagta. This is something that I don't like. And I kept on talking. And for this one moment, I was just leaving the house and he's like, Shweta, do you have time? Just wait and sit down. I said, okay. And then he said, Shweta, agar kuch acha nahi lagta, ya fir anything that hurts you or you feel bad about something, just heal yourself. And that actually trusted me a big time. Once I visited him and I came back to my city, Pune, I didn't get in touch with Anil for almost 2 to 3 days. And those 2 to 3 days was like a process for me. Now, what is that process? What is that heal yourself process? We are going to talk to Anil about it, but I also thought that this is like an year end almost, and it's going to be like maybe, 15, 20 days more left for this beautiful 2021 year. Of course, some moments are beautiful. Some moments are like, we are still recovering from it. I think we all have them. But before entering 2022, guys, how about this? I would say not only grooming, but I would say a cleaning process. Is that right, Anil? It's more like a cleaning
it's like
process.
A personal deep cleansing process.
That is wonderfully said. So we'll talk more about it. But Anil, I would love if you tell everybody, I think whatever I said about you was like very precise, but we would love to hear your journey and if you could just guide us more about healing yourself.
Okay, let's start with my journey, Shweta.
Yeah.
You heard this story many times. This is a story I tell during all my introductory sessions and webinars.
True.
It's fairly longish, but I will make it short. I used to be in the IT industry with a work schedule like crazy. And during that period, when I wanted some leave and I wasn't getting any leave, somebody told me there is this blank programming course happening. Neuro-linguistic programming, but I had no clue what neuro meant. I didn't even hear the word. I had no clue what linguistic meant. I didn't even hear the word. I heard programming. I said, "Yay, that's how I'm going to get my leave." That's how I got my leave. And yes, I did attend it. I realized that it's got nothing to do with computer programming, or rather, it's got to do with the programming of the most powerful computer, which is here. Some might argue that your entire body is one.
Is a computer, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And
So
that's how I
can we say like a
completed.
CPU, Anil? Because when you said that can be the CPU part, is
It
it?
can be the CPU
Yeah.
part, correct. Yeah. And so that's how I completed my NLP practitioner training. Then I got so fascinated with it that I just continued pursuing it all the way to master practitioner. And I'm telling you, like you said, master practitioner was mind-blowing for me too.
Wow.
Okay. And then I started exploring, experimenting, doing all kinds of fun stuff. Casually, when one of my friends is driving in the car, I was in Dubai at that time. He complained of sinus, and I instantly played around with words and created a hypnotic language script. And I just, impromptu, I spoke that to him. For a moment, he went, "What did you say?" He was kind of lost. But after that, at least for the duration I was in Dubai and I kept seeing him, he never had a sinus problem.
So I'm excited because we all
Yeah.
know about it. Did you use like an anchor tool or something? Because it's one of the
No,
NLP
I
tools.
use the basic Milton language patterns, which is
Yeah.
word patterns for uh, hypnotic, post-hypnotic suggestions.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's how my journey, the initial journey started. And I continued pursuing Train the Trainer. I went to South Africa for that, to Cape Town, 15 days of Train the Trainer program. And subsequently, my own life events made me rethink the way I was living life. I realized that, IT was fulfilling my need for ambition, but I didn't own my life. Simple things like, when I told my boss I'm going to get married, he says, "No, change the date of marriage because we need you." When my mother was diagnosed with cancer and fairly at the last stage, my boss said, "What are you going to do? You can't do anything, but your client needs you. Go to client side." They were all playing on my ambition. And I didn't own my life, really.
Yeah.
I was living the life everybody else wanted me to live. In 2010, certain events transpired which made me rethink that and said, "No, I want to live my life. I want to live my life for myself and my loved ones." And that's how I completely transitioned from IT industry into the world of coaching and training. So that's a little bit of my journey. Yeah.
That is amazing. So I think, Anil, some of the details I didn't know. So it was some like a new insight to me. So I'm so happy that the master practitioner is on, we are on the same page for that. So even that I didn't know, but that's truly, I think the way you talk about all the awareness and I still remember we were in the canteen, you remember, in the break, and you just wanted us to be the team. The group was also amazing. You just wanted us to be aware. It was so tough because it was taking too much of focus. और सच में CPO में बहुत गड़बड़ हो रही थी because it was taking it. There was a headache also, and then it's not easy. But I think we could at least reach maybe 1% of. I think you say something, right?
Easy. It's actually very easy, Shweta, because not being aware is difficult because it puts so much load and burden on your mind. Whereas being aware is just emptying your mind.
Yeah.
So it's actually very easy. But the thing is, mind struggles. It will not allow you, the egoic mind will not
Hmm.
allow you to empty the mind, because emptying the mind is like the death of the egoic mind. So
Hmm.
it will fight.
So basically mind को drama नहीं मिलेगा, right?
Exactly. Yeah,
And all humans love drama. Okay.
absolutely.
Wonderful. So Anil, you did something to me 10 days back. You know it.
Mm,
You said
mm,
that Shweta, heal yourself.
mm.
What was that magic wand that you just got on me so that I am getting cleansed, like clean before 2021 gets over? Please, if you could just put
Yeah.
some light on
Let
that.
me first, start by explaining what I mean by heal yourself, because there are many connotations to it. Heal yourself can be about the physical, biological healing, but then, I neither claim nor do I advocate venturing into the medical territory. So I'm not claiming to be in the medical territory.
Okay.
And then when we talk about the mental and emotional healing part of it, there are many different modalities, a lot of modalities like affirmations and then Louis Hay, and then many, many different uh, modalities.
Yeah.
I want to be very categorical that what I am referring to begins with cognitive understanding and acceptance. The rational mind, it begins with the rational mind, and then enters into the feelings, and then allows anything that's there in your conscious mind or subconscious mind to surface.
Okay.
If there is something, it will surface. If there is nothing, it will not surface. And what happens when it surfaces is whatever was buried, it comes up into your cognitive awareness. What's buried, you cannot deal with it. What surfaced, you have the possibility of dealing with it.
Yeah.
And what's the context to it? Let's also, so that's first of all my understanding or the meaning I consider for the word heal yourself.
Okay.
Now let's come to the context. Context wise, see, too often what happens in life is we end up having feelings which we don't like, unpleasant feelings. We
True.
may be angry, we may be upset, we may be worried, we may be anxious, we don't like something,
Yeah.
we feel disgusted about something.
I think in my case,
Many
it
of
was
those
that
things.
I got hurt. You remember I was saying that it was hurting. Yeah.
Correct. You feel hurt. Okay. These are unpleasant feelings. No doubt they are unpleasant. Often what happens is we attach the, we consider something in our immediate environment as the cause or at least the trigger of that hurt. So something in the environment could be you yourself, that I did something and you're kind of, self beating yourself up over something, or it could be somebody did something, whoever was there in the environment, and therefore, I'm hurt, I'm angry, etc., etc. Or something did something.
Yeah.
The reason for that feeling is always outside of you. Okay. Now, the moment the reason for that feeling is outside of you, you have to first understand and accept then that if the reason for these unpleasant feelings is outside of you, then the reason for all the feelings must be outside of you. But that's not true.
Yeah.
Okay. So if all the feelings, the reason is not outside of you, then even this feeling, the reason cannot be outside of you. It has to be inside of you. It has to be. So what is it that's inside of you? Okay. It's like this, that let's say I'm here, I say something, or you say something, and let's say I get angry. Okay. And what's the default human conditioning? default human conditioning is you did something and I got angry.
Of course.
You
It's
are
a very
you are,
common dialogue that we
yeah,
all say.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The fact is, why did I get angry? You did X. That's an event on the outside. Why did I get angry? There must be something within me that got triggered, right?
So true.
So I may say that the trigger is outside of me. You may say that the trigger is outside of you. But the trigger is a trigger to something within you. What was it within you that got triggered? And my own experience, this is something this did not come to me from any technique of NLP. This is something that I myself experienced in moments of what we were discussing, awareness. And through that, I realized that whatever was triggered within me has got nothing to do with whatever is on the outside in this present moment. It's got nothing to do with the person in the environment. It's got nothing to do with things. It's got nothing to do with self in the present moment. It's got nothing to do with anything in the present moment. Whatever was triggered within you, originates somewhere far back into your past.
So true.
Sometimes way back to your childhood.
Yeah.
And then there are theories about past lives as well. So I do not claim to venture out into the territory of past life. I haven't done as many, case studies in that domain.
Okay.
But I do have occasional experiences around that. But it definitely, I do have a lot of experience with all the way back into your childhood. Sometimes the memories are even repressed and you consciously don't even remember them.
Okay.
And those are the incidents where you had been deeply hurt.
Wow.
And when something in the present moment happens on the outside, if it ends up that your mind somehow correlates it with that long ago past memory, then that's what is getting triggered.
And those are the memories which I don't even remember, right?
Don't remember.
Because
many times you don't. Yeah. Repressed. I myself had that one of those epiphany moments when a very, very, very intense memory had been completely repressed. I was not even aware about it. But during one of my awareness and meditation, I was going through my own meditation. After that, suddenly that memory just came to the surface. It's like, how deep within the ocean there is an explosion.
Yeah.
So deep within the ocean of my subconscious, there was an explosion and this memory surfaced up. And then a lot of things made sense. Made sense in the sense that, things which were triggering me. Realized that's where they were coming from. And just becoming aware of it, you come at choice.
Exactly. That's enough, right?
Yeah, that's it. You're a choice then after that.
So I think same happened with me, Anil. When the moment you said that, Shweta, heal yourself, you remember I was just sitting before you. And of course, we'll do that activity for everybody in some time. But you just told me, close your eyes. And then that activity we did, it took me to a memory, which I knew, I remember. But I didn't know that was a memory which really hurted me so much. And exactly. And then what my life was, or what was happening to me, as you said, everything made sense.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking about
and the best part is you didn't even have to share what that memory was. It just surfaced for you and you were able to deal with it.
Yeah.
So it's not like, the therapy sessions where you just keep pouring out your memories. No, you're not doing
You don't have to. Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think the moment you just acknowledge it, I think that was sufficient. So
Exactly.
Anil, there were also moments when I remember, I was just telling you, when I came back to Pune, the next 2 to 3 days, what happened is whenever I was teaching a Zumba class, it was like a meditation to me. You're in the music therapy. Then whenever I used to be at my kitchen cooking, I was doing something which my brain is already trained. That's what you always talk about. That's something that you're trained, you keep on doing. When I was driving, all the incidents started coming like to me. And I just wanted to sort it. I just wanted to, maybe if there was a person involved in that, pata nahi kitne saal pehle tha wo. I just wanted to call that person and fix it. And then something also happened to me that I just told myself that maybe you just have to be aware of those incidences, that this is something that you didn't like, and it just got resolved. So let me tell you, since I think after this 10 days, since 1 week, ऐसे नहीं हुआ कुछ that मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगा. So it's very silly. I want to share this with you. So yesterday what happened is my daughter was making those muesli bowls, she wanted to get to muesli and she wanted to warm the milk.
Yeah.
The milk, she boiled the milk because I was not paying attention. She boiled the milk and the milk was in the microwave.
Yeah.
For 1 minute, 2 minutes, she was so scared. She was like, "Arey yaar, mummy ko bataungi to abhi gayi kaam se," because I was running to teach my studio Zumba class. I was already in a rush. Then as she very carefully, she said, "Mom, kuch gadbad ho gayi hai." I saw that. I was like, "It's okay, don't worry. I'll just do this, clean them, and quickly." And she was shocked. She's like, "You didn't get angry?" I was like, "No, I'm in a very chilled mode, Swara. Don't worry. I'm so good. I'm in a good, I would say, good phase of my life." So, and she's like, "What did you do? Do it every day." Like, okay. Yeah. Believe me, things, I feel it. I know, and it has helped me so much. So.
You're absolutely right. Shweta, especially in deeply personal, intimate relationships like child, parents, spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend, someone that you love very deeply, a lot of things happen. A lot of situations arise.
Yeah.
And one or the other person gets angry. Okay, one thing that I have learned from my experiences, anger is the outward feeling, outward emotion that's displayed. Where does anger come from? At the root of anger is hurt and pain. Okay, you feel hurt, you feel some kind of pain. You may not realize it. You may think, oh, milk has boiled and, it's physical that I have to go and clean it. But there is some hurt behind that anger. Or there was some hurt. And then behind that hurt is what? Behind that hurt is actually love.
It's like the long
think about it.
Before. Yeah,
think about it this way. If you didn't have that love, if you were just indifferent, would there be any hurt? No. And if there was no hurt, would there be any anger? No. Where there is indifference, there is no anger. There is no hurt. Hurt, pain, anger exists only when below all of that is love. And the journey to make, when I say heal yourself, that's the journey. Move from your anger to your pain, to your hurt, and then from there move into love.
So true. And actually this happens so much more, and then especially about your loved ones. So I think most of us, what we is like, let it be our closed family. It can be your spouse, as you mentioned, like closed ones, your maybe it can be your parents, or it can be anybody. And then you're like, I'm hurt because of this, but you're right. It's, as you mentioned, if you just, I've gone through the process myself. So I know that it's not about forgiving them about what they did. They did because they thought something was right for that moment or for them. But it was me that had a problem. So it doesn't mean that I am a problem person or something, but it's about understanding why am I feeling that, right?
Yeah. And then from there, going beyond the understanding and stepping into the love which already is there at the core. See, a child is born with only one feeling, the feeling of love, inherently.
Yeah.
That's natural to us. It's not the kind of love for someone. It's not the love for someone or something. It's just love by itself.
So true. It's so naive, right? That's what we say.
Yes.
Love is
Yeah.
so naive. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what the journey is about, stepping into that love. Because when you are in that love, nothing hurts you.
Absolutely. And I think that can happen only. So, Anil, is it that can happen only if you're making peace with yourself? So,
See, making peace with yourself, you could describe it that way. Okay. But it's far more than that. It is a journey. We use the word cleansing, deep cleansing.
yeah.
It's a journey of deep cleansing. When you go through this journey, when you take each and every instance of anger, hurt, pain, and when you start navigating through all of the memories all the way back to your childhood, you realize that, and this is what happened with me, Shweta, okay, that some of the things right from childhood, I was in a way co-creating all my circumstances because I was operating from my hurt.
Yeah.
So when I'm operating from my hurt, the hurt is something from my childhood, but somebody in this moment would come to me and something happens and I respond from the hurt of the childhood with this person.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, this person gets hurt.
Absolutely.
What I have done, I have perpetuated, I have passed on the cycle of hurt to someone else.
Yeah.
Hurt of my childhood passed on to someone else. And when you begin to realize this, trust me, it's not in a way, it's a relief. You're coming into conscious awareness, but you don't feel happy immediately. You actually feel disturbed because you have to finally take ownership and responsibility for your part in co-creating all your circumstances and co-creating the circumstances of the other people who came into contact with you.
Yeah.
Your part in it. You played a role. I played a role. So it is disturbing. But then after that, yes, you have to come to peace with yourself. You have to say, okay, I was operating from my hurt and therefore I perpetuated, which means today I am at choice. I stop from now onwards. I will no longer operate from my hurts because I can see that, I can see those pain, those memories. That's it. Way back into the past. I have been living in the past. Time to break those chains, set myself free, and start living in the present and plan for the future. And then, you start making conscious choices of how you want to live your life.
And then truly the life changes, right, Anil? It makes a lot of difference. Yeah. So, Anil, is it also possible? Because, see, I went through this process just 1 week back and there were like 3 days. And then after 3 days, I was okay that I wanted to get back. But 3 days, I did this processing for me, the activity what you helped me with. Is it possible that if I do this activity next month, something else will also come up?
Possible.
Yeah.
It's like this. Okay. Anytime you feel upset or anytime you feel any of those unpleasant feelings, that's the time you choose to do this activity.
Yeah.
What will surface? We don't know.
So true.
Something new may surface, or you may realize this is also linked to the old thing that's already surfaced.
Yeah. So which I thought is already gone.
Yeah.
It kind of keeps triggering back, kind of.
So keep doing this, keep this activity. So we'll just call it this activity for now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, Anil, I have one more question. I would say much deeper. And then after this, we can just get into the activity if you could, make everybody else experience. as we all know that, of course, I would not say only pandemic, but in the pandemic, we just realized more about the diseases that people have. But I'm not talking about mental diseases. Nothing like a depression or, maybe people, social life, people have sacrificed. So there's a lot of depression, stress also. But I'm talking about actual health diseases. People having maybe blood pressure, people landing up becoming, getting into that. Then the blood pressure leads to heart attack, or people having diabetes, or maybe arthritis is one of the common things. And, I come into the dancing section, so I get to hear a lot about it. Would you comment on this that, or what would you say that, is it because people have not been healing themselves and these diseases become like an extremity or like an extreme scenario? So what would you comment on this situation? I don't know, this question just
The
popped up.
world over, the medical community
Yeah.
has labeled certain illnesses as lifestyle disorders and having psychosomatic origins. World over, medical community, scientific community, the pharmaceutical industry, certain illnesses are labeled as psychosomatic in nature, which means that they accept, and they are the ones who are, who have validated that sometimes the body malfunctions because of what's been happening in your mind and in your feelings.
True.
So yes, there is a linkage over there for sure. What exactly is it? How does it work? You and I may not be able to tell. Maybe nobody might be able to tell.
True.
But there is definitely a linkage over there.
So I think just by acknowledging what they feel, or not necessarily even this, call this process like heal yourself or something, just by even accepting it, as you said, about being aware of how you feel is enough to maybe reduce the intensity of that disease. You never know, miracles might just happen, right?
Exactly. First is become aware of what you feel, and then become aware of where is it truly coming from.
Yeah.
That's the biggest piece, because that's when you begin to realize that it's way back in the past. It doesn't make sense. It's something you've been holding on to.
True.
Now imagine that there's a fruit, not even a fruit. Maybe let's say there's a thorn that that kind of came into your hands, and you're holding on to it way back 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. So what happens when the thorn pricks you? You take it out and you throw it.
Yeah. Oh,
Imagine holding on to it for 20, 30 years, 40 years. It keeps hurting you, and you keep blaming anything and everything in the present moment for that hurt.
But Anil, you make it sound so easy. The thorn that which is pinching you, just throw it off. I wish all those hurt feelings and anger feelings just went by like this for everybody, or even for me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what happens is we become conditioned to not recognize or not even remember the thought.
So true. And the only thing that is left is the feeling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow. This is fantastic. So, Anil, would you help us all by getting that activity? If you could just make the viewers feel that activity. If we could just do it, maybe whatever time you want.
See, the activity is very simple. Okay, it doesn't have to. It usually doesn't take very longer than a minute or 2 minutes. Okay,
yeah.
It's just when you are angry about something or you're hurt about something, you have that unpleasant feeling. At that point of time, it may be too intense for you to do this activity. So what I recommend is that find some alone time and alone space, and remember the moment when you were angry or upset or hurt or whatever that unpleasant feeling was. So you remember it post facto, after the fact. And when you remember, you'll start feeling those feelings again. Okay. And the memory of that incident will pop into your mind. Okay. So when that memory of that incident pops into your mind, the idea is to just close your eyes, stay with it for a few minutes, for a few seconds, I would say. Stay with it for a few seconds. And then just tune into the feeling, only the feeling, not the incident. And then go back and check when in your memory do you remember having that feeling for the first time. Okay. It's not about searching your memories. It's about allowing your mind to wander and find the earliest memory of that feeling. And whatever comes up, it just surfaces on its own.
True.
While this is happening, a lot of different images will flash in your mind. A lot of rationalization may happen this way or that way. Ignore all of that. Just stay with the feeling. Just the feeling. And when you stay with the feeling, your mind will wander into past memories. And when it reaches the oldest memory, that's when you will feel something shift within you. And you'll say, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense because this is so old.
Yeah.
And how the hell have I been living my life in such a past memory?
And maybe that memory was also not important, but it just pops up.
Yeah, it just pops up.
Yeah.
It will pop up. So do all of this with your eyes closed, and it will take hardly no more than 2 to 3 or 4 minutes at max. And when that happens, stay with that old memory for a while. Stay with that old memory for a while. Allow your mind to recognize all of the impact of that past old memory. And that may be a little disturbing for you.
Yeah, I know.
But stay with that disturbance, because then when you recognize all of the impact, then you come at conscious choice saying, hey, if I was the one who allowed this impact to happen, it means I was always at choice. It means I am currently at choice. And today onwards, I can choose. Now onwards, I can choose to be at choice and just stay in this awareness and let go of this past.
Wow. Wow.
That's it. It's as simple as this. Very simple activity.
I know. I think everybody should try this because guys have personally experienced this. And as I mentioned, I'm still cleansing for this year 2021. So thank you so much, Anil. I think, but as we all both know, I can just talk to you for hours and hours, but
My pleasure.
thank you so much for this experience. So guys, with this 2021, I would really recommend this, that just try this process and heal yourself. So thank you, Anil. Anil, any message that you would love to give the viewers right now?
What I keep telling all of you, awareness. Stay in awareness. That's it. Because all of this is about awareness, becoming aware, more and more aware of yourself.
True. So with this ending note, I would also love to tell you that, so guys, Anil, you do have your NLP Practitioner Course coming up, right?
Yes.
So guys, stay tuned if you are also looking forward to just start like I'm a beginner, just like, I'm just still a beginner. If you look forward to become a coach for yourself, believe me, it started with myself. I still remember when I did my NLP Practitioner, Anil said, Shweta, pehle khud ke liye use kar 6 months. And I thought I'll be there coaching people around. And when I started, I don't want to say much. So I think you all should experience
That's not
this.
the advice I give to everyone, huh, Shweta?
Yeah.
Okay. So different people, different advices. What I felt was required for you, I told you.
Yeah.
There are others where I feel they're ready and they're already at a stage where they can coach others. So it's different things for different people, because based on what's most true for them in their life at that time.
Yeah, but Anil, guess what? You're right. And with this, it took me 3 years to actually start my coaching journey. And as I discussed, I just started designing my sessions, and I also started working with, as my opportunities right now. So it took me 3 years. So I think, I don't know, I think everybody has a journey to go through, right?
Yeah, everybody has their own, and everybody's at different stages of the journey. So
yeah. So that's the reason I call you like a best guru and my, mentor of life. So thank you so much, Anil. Thank you for this enlightening session, I would say. And this is not the first and last session with you. We would love to have you more on Masterful TV with different topics, with different discussions. But for now, thank you so much.
thank you. Thank you, Shweta.
Thank you.